Same team, same coach, same quarterback, same story. I don't really know what else to tell you. I don't know why I picked the Bills to lose by 6. I have been pretty clear in my Patriots videos in the past, except in regards to last year, that I'll never pick the Bills to beat the Patriots ever again. As long as Tom Brady's the quarterback, I'm going to do that. And I should have foreseen a blowout. I think I might have talked a little bit about this last week, just like, the fans going to the stadium basically just thinking, just please don't be down 21-3 at halftime. They weren't down 21-3 at halftime. They were down 24-10. So much better. And then, you know what, and there is your microcosm of where those two teams are. The Bills are down 21-10. They're playing for a field goal at the end of the half, because of course they are. I guess I shouldn't say that, because they tried 3 deep shots, before they attempted the field goal with Carpenter, and obviously Carpenter misses it. And, I turn around to the guy behind me, and I'm like, even before he missed it, I'm like, if he misses this, New England's coming down and making a field goal, right? Like, wrap it up. We're going to be down 14 points. We're going to be down 8 or 14 and a half. Lo and behold, that's exactly what happens. Any opposing kicker at Ralph Wilson Stadium can make any kick from any distance at any time, in any weather, at any whatever, any field conditions, whatever. Unlimited leg power for a kicker. It's like a thing. It's a Madden thing. I don't know. And there you go. But that's what I'm talking about. Patriots just rink dink rinky dink 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 dink. Whatever. We know we can get down there. We'll take the field goal. And they get it. And they get special teams play. Start to happen. It's 31-10, 1 minute into the third quarter, and that's pretty much like, well, whatever from there. Bills lost to New England, 41-25. I really don't think it's worth getting too upset over, honestly. I really mean that. Tom Brady is out to prove something to Goodell. He has a chip on his shoulder. New England was just way, way, way too hot for the Bills in that. To be undermanned on offense and even try to keep up with them. It's a bad situation overall. And honestly, I would bet that the result would have been the same even if the Bills beat Miami the week before. And that's why beating Miami the week before was probably more important. Definitely more important. Because, the difference between 5-3 and 4-4 is considerable. I mean, and the difference at any one game out of 16 is considerable. And I know that might sound kind of contradictory because I'm literally writing this one off, this New England game off. But it was a game that looked tough in April. It was a game that looked tough in August. It was a game that looked tough in September. It was a game that looked tough all week, and it was a game that looked tough on Sunday. It was just could they win? Sure. They would have needed multiple breaks, they got a special teams play. Brady throws one off somebody's helmet at the line, and it gets interception return for a touchdown. That's how we beat them in 2011. So, that's just basically my point. You just weren't going to have it. That's why I wanted to have 5 wins stashed away so that, this game didn't hurt as much. Because staring at 5-3 right now wouldn't be that bad. You'd be one game out of the Bills are still tied for 7th in the AFC. But you'd be one game out. You'd be all alone in 7th. You'd be one game out of the wild card. Now you're kind of a game and a half to 2 games out of the wild card. You do play Oakland. You got that, but you're going to have that. Now you're looking at sort of, I guess the goal to me stays the same. You got to get to 7-6. You want to get in, you got to beat some contenders. You got to win on the road in Cincinnati. You got to win on the road in Oakland. It's just the way it is. Okay, let's summarize. I'll summarize Sunday for you a little bit. I wish I could explain really why New England's plays are so difficult to stop, because honestly, it's 5 yard out, 5 yard in, slant route, whatever. And the answer is Brady. I guess I am explaining it. The answer is Brady. It's always been Brady. Look at the difference one player made from week 4 till now. In week 4, Bills on the road, 16-0 win. Now, what's the difference? One player, basically. So, what happens? they win. They score 41 points on our field. The Bills scored 41 points in 2 meetings. Patriots scored 41 points in 2 meetings as well. They just did it all in 1 meeting. But Brady constantly knows what you're in. He finds his mismatch, which is oftentimes Gronk. Like, here's Gronk. Oh, what do I got? I got Gronk on Nickel Roby-Coleman. Oh, my God. He probably just made some motion to Gronk. I don't know this for sure. He probably was just like, go. I got a blitz. I got you in man on a 5'8" dude. You're 6'6". That's a start 10-inch difference. Whatever. Just go. And of course, the throw is perfect right on the money. He doesn't leave it inside for Roby to make a play on it, obviously. He just, like I said, he just knows what you're in. I watched one play specifically from where I was. I'm like, well, here you go. Like, I don't know. Okay. He snapped it, didn't look at his guys. He looked at the linebacker, which we're supposed to do, read the linebacker. He sees Zach Brown darting to the sideline because that's where the running back is. So, snap, Zach Brown starts taking off to the sideline. Right away, Brady flips it over to James White. First down. He's like, I know that it's going to take, I know I got man, I know Zach Brown's going to take some time to get over there because my guy's starting over here and their guy's starting right there. Like, I've got that advantage. I've got that field positional type of advantage in terms of players. So that's it. He's that much smarter. They even got to him a little bit. The Bills got to him a little bit. They sacked him like 4 times. I think they got Garoppolo once too. So they sacked Brady like 4 times. They got him moving a bit. Didn't matter. Like the first drive, they got him up. They flushed him out of the pocket, and he still threw a touchdown. He took off for 20 yards on them. Defense didn't play well. It was not a great game for Gilmore. Definitely not a good game from Blanton and Meeks. The Bills looks like they need a safety, guys. I mean, Corey Graham isn't going to be around forever, obviously. Not that he's that bad of a player. I don't think so at all. I just think that looks like safety is going to be a need in the offseason, probably, maybe in the draft, along with wide receiver. Like, hey, we're establishing needs here, and we still have half the season to play. Sorry. Special teams didn't play well. I kind of already addressed that. And the offense, especially, didn't really play well. They get that first drive down there. They move the ball. Don't score a touchdown. Rest is history. They're already done. When it felt done at 14-3. Don't tell me it didn't. It felt done. Once again, Tyrod gives you basically the same game statistically. That's what he does. 183 yards passing, ballpark. 48 yards rushing, ballpark. 200, ballpark 50. 1 touchdown, no turnovers. Standard Tyrod game. He's only completed 20 passes once this year. That would be my, thing. Because I should have prefaced that, I guess. Rex has talked about completions plus rushing yard, or rush attempts being, a big thing. And obviously they didn't rush the ball that well. But they didn't rush the ball that much. They rushed the ball pretty well. Gillis had 85 yards on 12 carries. But they had to come back. And Tyrod still didn't complete 20 passes. And he only did it once this year, and it was against New England. One of his best games of the year. He threw for 246 yards. Here you go. And they won. Whatever. Like I said earlier, goal stays the same. Get to 7-6. You're 4-4. It's not tough. You win 3 out of 5 games. You could do that. That's not a tall task. It might be considering the schedule, but it's really not a tall task to say, let's win 3 out of our next 5. And then try to win out, obviously, but it can be done. Just me, here I am again. In the hunt. Here the Bills are. Fans talking about, winning out. When they're just not that good. Could be. Starts with Seattle this week. And it sounds strange, but all of the games that the Bills have left, this is the one they can most afford to lose because it's not in the AFC. I don't want to lose it because you get into 4-5, then you're really digging the hole. Then you got to go 6-1 the rest of the way. Maybe a team gets in at 9-7, but yikes. On the road, Monday Night Football. Bills only have 17 road wins in primetime in their history. I believe it's 17. 10 with Jim Kelly, 1 with Tyrod Taylor last year in New York on Thursday Night Football. But it's a tough game. Another game that looked tough from the get-go and still looks pretty tough. Seattle has struggled a little bit, but they're still 3-0 at home. They're 2-0 against the AFC. They beat Miami in Week 1. They beat the Jets, I believe, in Week 4. They're 4-2-1 overall. Statistically not good on offense. 29th in points per game, just under 19. 23rd in yards per game, about 340, and 28th in rushing, 81 yards a game. So like that's because their offensive line has not been good. They have 2 undrafted players playing tackle. They got 2 fourth-round picks playing guard, and then their center, I believe. I'm sorry, I can't remember. I believe he was drafted as either a guard or he was drafted not as a center. He was drafted as either a guard or a tackle, and he's playing center. So that's what they're down to. That's why Russell Wilson has struggled, also because he has knee and ankle injuries. But Russell Wilson has accounted for exactly 0 touchdowns, exactly 0 in his last 3 games. They're 1-1-1 in those games. But it literally has not thrown, he hasn't rushed for a touchdown all season, has not thrown a touchdown since October 2nd against the Jets. So it's a full month. The game is on November 7th. Russell Wilson will have not thrown a touchdown or run for one for an entire month. Like I said, he's been dealing with knee and ankle injuries, so I don't think he's really going to be that much of a threat against the Bills to run the ball. I say that now, probably going to regret that. But he only has 44 rushing yards this season. He's halfway through the season basically, 7 games for them, and where like you would think he'd have ballpark 250, 300 rushing yards, just doesn't have it. The most he's had in the game is 16 so far. Knee and ankle. It's hampering him. But, you know he's still going to complete 2/3 of his passes. You know he's still going to get to ballpark 250 yards. Like, even with his injury. Whatever. They're still 20th in yards per play. 29th overall in first downs. 22nd in third down percentage. This is a bottom third offense. Bottom third for sure. Problem with that, like I said, they're 3-0 at home. Because their defense is still really good. 6th overall in yardage, 4th in yards per play against, 6th in first downs against, 11th in third down percentage. Those are stats that are kind of correlate to one another, but you get less yards per play leads to less first downs. Less first downs means you're probably better on third down, obviously. But I like that trio. They have a couple injuries on D. Michael Bennett is not going to play because he had to have minor surgery. He'll be back this year, but will not be, won't affect the Bills. Cam Chancellor may come back. He's missed the last couple games with a groin injury. Not sure of his status as of now. I hope he doesn't play because he's one of the leaders of that defense. Hits really hard. Whatever. Yeah, it's like that. I'm going to give Seattle just an overall advantage simply by being at home and in prime time. The Bills are traveling, playing on a Monday, playing at Seattle's 5:30 at night, not the Bills' time. Bills could be preparing for the bye, maybe they have travel plans after the game, not going back to Buffalo. It might distract them. I really hope not. I don't know if McCoy is going to be able to play. Percy Harvin is now a Bill. How about that? He's got to be motivated to play against Seattle. He's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to play. Dude, you're going to play. He better play. I know he hasn't been hit. I know he's probably, his snaps are going to be limited because first of all, he's injury prone, hasn't played, hasn't been hit. So, but, it's Seattle. And I know that he didn't really get along with Russ and with Doug Baldwin, I guess. So that could be, an interesting little side story. Whatever. Bottom line, that's a threat. If they can play, him and Tyrod developed a little bit of chemistry in the first half of last year, and then that chemistry, turned to Sammy, who's not here. So if they can have Sammy and Percy maybe in week 12, I don't know, this could be a thing. We could throw the ball maybe. And I don't know if McCoy will play. They might rest him just because they've got the bye this week, and then we definitely get McCoy for the last 7 games, which are the most important. Because like I said, of all the games they have left, this is the one they can most afford to lose. But I don't want to, obviously. It just looks tough. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks to beat the Bills on Monday Night Football. They don't score a ton of points, so how about right around their average, 19, 16? Sure, something like that. Sounds good. Guys, hit me up on Twitter. Let me know how you're feeling, what you're thinking, or in the comments here. My Twitter handle, same as my username for YouTube, as always. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy a Bills-free Sunday and probably a stressful Monday, but hopefully not. Let's get the dub. Enjoy your weekend, guys. As always, go Bills!